A while back, I did a video based on this artwork, An Allegory of Life by Giorgio Gisi from the 1500s or the I-516s or something. And I said in a video that I had to draw it, and so I did. I definitely did, and I tweaked it in a new way, and I'll present it actually in a further video and explain it a little bit more, explain my mind, and but that is a little glimpse of what it looks like. And the mountains that I zoomed in on at first and zoomed out of is really what caught my eye, and one of the main aspects of this artwork and just in general of my thought over the last few months and longer is that how it shows just a mountain on the outside and then a coliseum on the inside, a temple on the inside. And I've seen many artworks like this Green Tara where it looks very similar, and then you see things in reality that are like this and that are carved into the side of mountains, or they are buried in mountain, smothered in mountain, melted into mountain, or they are all part of something that was melted. Everything was maybe a structure at one point. This could be a video game. I'm not sure about that one. It'd be sweet if it's real, but could be a video game. Other ones I think are real. But either way, underwater, there's a whole different mound of these worlds. You know, they exist everywhere. So I really just wanted to show you a collection of images that I found that are really cool and point in this direction. But again, this is all theory, so I'm not going to do it for like 20 minutes and blast off on a bunch of nonsense that I don't really know. But look, even in the upper right, there's different hollows, different caverns. Like, what is this? I'd love to hear you guys' comments. You know, are these melted in? Are they built this way? Are they chiseled into the rock? What came first, the mountain or the building? I think that's like a more appropriate and more enticingly meaningful and insightful question that I'd rather have answered than the chicken and the egg. Although that's interesting too. But either way, what came first? Are these things melted, like part of a civilization that inevitably melted? Were they carved into the mountains? Do the tectonic plates exist? Or is that just more bogus that no one can ever prove? So they just choose to educate us in that direction. But these things, Petra and Egypt, these occur all over the world. Tibet, which was definitely a huge part of Tartary, all these different things in Cambodia, Laos, Sri Lanka, Nepal. This just they're everywhere, and there are mountains everywhere. There are huge ranges of mountains all over the world. Like, are the entire Alps look like? Could you dig into those and find things like this? Find civilizations. The Lemurians of Mount Shasta, are they in there? Is Mount Shasta just a giant temple at one point that got melted, got buried, whether it's volcanic or some other process that we have no idea about? Directed energy, could be anything in these time periods. I don't leave anything off to chance. And whenever someone on TV or anywhere, I don't watch TV, but when someone anywhere says that they know what happened and where these came from, it's just no one does. We're all in the same boat. So it's better to creatively think about the potential surrounding what we see and try to use our logic and other reason and things that people have discovered in our group. But to go on what these so-called experts say is just useless. They don't know. Nobody knows. This one always reminds me of The Fifth Element, where at the beginning when they're in that similar building to that, and then the interdimensional beings from 500 years in the distant or wherever come and tell about a war 500 years later. I love that movie. But look at this stuff. These Buddhas that are huge. Like, who would, like, it would take people our size and age to chisel those things a very long time, unless they had casts, but even still, to make the casts would be tremendous. All of these things point towards just, when comparing their structures and their architecture of this ancient past to our modern stuff, and how our modern stuff could get blown away in a storm tomorrow. And these things are still here in places like Cambodia, which get heavy rains, get storms, all these different things. And there's so many more. We can look on Google Earth and see so many mountains, so many different ranges. They're always discovering things within mountains. There was a time when they were discovering a lot of Aztec and Mayan pyramids because they were seeing a different color in the foliage just by going off Google Earth and then finding these places, digging in. The limestone created a different effect on the plants. How many are these? How many of these places exist? Are they in every single mountain? If you were to dig in, every single hill, for the most part, besides ones that we know are landfills, but are all things? Can this be dug into in the middle and find something? Is there a cavern in there? Would there be treasure? Would there be people living? Can these people go up, the Lemurians, the inner being, the Hollow Earthians? Is that true? I've always believed in Hollow Earth. My first band was named after it. and I still always kind of believe in it. But this, I've always thought of this as looking like something still under there, like that whole area is carved out, but there's grass growing on it, so it looks like there's a field. Oh, they make a little wall here, so it looks like, and fill it in with land, so it looks like that was just the size of the wall. Meanwhile, that thing could go deep and deep and deep. There could be inner layers, fortresses, so many different things. That rock, like, where did that come from? Does that go deep? Do these, if you were to carve into all those mountains, would you find more and more tunnels, more and more hidden rooms, more and more temples, meditation rooms, anything, chambers, who knows? Rooms that we have no idea in modern time what they were used for, because people had totally different lifestyles in this time. And just, it blows my mind. I hope we get to find out. I wish we could invent a way to x-ray through these mountains and just kind of scan it, if you could like see it on a screen or something. But I have a feeling they're everywhere. I have a feeling in that right there is probably something massive. Yosemite, it could be something amazing under there, or it could be part of something, a broken down part of something, and all the other pieces are crumbling. How many of Tower of Babels could have existed? Massive structures beyond our comprehension that just toppled over, crumpled, are lying on their side, are lying in different ways, just people stole them. Everything's been, any of these could have had gold paint on them, time would have worn it off, vandals would have taken it. This one looks like a giant dragon or something. I forget where this is, but this is really cool, carved intentionally like that. The Valley of the Kings. These are all signs that they were built. These things were built by people that were massive. For us to build stuff like this, it would take forever. You'd have to do it in like a material that, a plaster of something that wouldn't last this test of time. For these people to do it in amazing materials that stand the test of time means they were smarter than us, they were stronger than us, they were most definitely bigger than us, and they just had a lot more things figured out than us. Under there, boom, could be so much more. There could be passageways. People that we know could know of it. They could be merging the tunnels that they make in the Denver airports and all those places in our cities. They could be merging it with this ancient civilization and have a whole different connection that we don't know. Could be a whole government system under there. I've heard different videos and different so-called whistleblowers talking about the underground world, the underground tunnels that exist everywhere, how there's an underground government, all this stuff. Who knows? Are they all connected and just, we're just out of the, we're not in the loop. We never are, so why would we expect to be in as far as the truth to all these things? But there seems like there's something we're missing, because look at this stuff. Like, how can this exist and have people not want to discover its true origins and who these people were, how they existed far beyond what we currently know? Because what we know is so lackluster and so just weak-minded, designed to be just dumb. It's all so dumb. And we need to find the truth, because the truth is not dumb. The truth was ingenious. It was masterful. It was perfect. It's absolutely unfathomably amazing. If we were to see how massive a structure Earth is and how it's so intelligently designed, maybe the entire thing was built by some race at some point that could exist beyond the poles. We have no idea. Again, it's all theory until it becomes truth. Hope we can find it. Bless you all.